Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Medicom Mafex Kingsman, the Secret Service movie, Harry GALAHAD HART figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini maybe I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
And a quick look at the side art. You can see a good picture of Harry there. Another picture on the side says the Kingsman, or it says Kingsman, the Secret Service, and then you can see the figure through the window of the front of the packaging. Let's get this guy out, see what's what. Alright, so I've got Harry out of the package. Mafex has this guy labeled as number 73 in their sequencing. Although this is the second character they've released from the Kingsman movie, the first being Eggsy, which I did review. So if you saw that review and or you have that figure, Harry's not going to be too surprising. There's not much more going on with this guy. The sculpts are a little different. Harry's a little taller, and he's the more senior member of the crew. And obviously some of the props are different. One prop in particular that I really like here, and that can definitely be used with some other figures. I'm already talking about other figures, but yeah, Harry here is pretty decent. Not too many complaints. I do think the likeness to the character is pretty good. I think it's a little better than Eggsy actually. But yeah, let's get into his accessories. A quick close-up look at this head sculpt before we dive into his accessories. Like I said, I do think that the likeness here is pretty good, and I do think that it's a little better than Eggsy. The actor who plays Harry, his name is Colin Firth. I think I'm pronouncing that properly. I do see one little paint imperfection here right in the front of his head, right at the top of his head, at the front of his hair. And but other than that, it's pretty good. I've seen two of these because I ordered two. One was for my man Ed, and I saw that Ed's looked a little funny style on the forehead. I think my copy was a little better. I picked a better one, but it's all good. Out of the package, he comes with two hands that are open with the fingers spread, and just like Eggsy, he's got his little ring there. I think that's like the Dakota ring or something. I don't remember. I do believe that both of these guys are from the first movie as well, because there were two Kingsman movies, which I remember than the first review of Eggsy. But anyway, two open hands, two more open hands with the fingers spread a bit more. He's got another set that are not quite matching. They're both kind of cupped. The right hand looks like it'll hold another one of his accessories. I'll double back to that hand. And the left hand looks like it's cupped so it can kind of hold his pistol maybe. But like I said, I'll double back to these. He's got a couple fists. And he's got another set that are not matching, but this looks like it may be the trigger finger hand on the right, but he also has another one that is similar to this. But now that I'm remembering, Eggsy did have two trigger finger hands. One was for the pistol, one was for the assault rifle, although Harry does not come with an assault rifle. So I'm not sure about that here, but that's the right hand. Left hand is, I don't know what this is for. Maybe it's for when he takes communion and he holds the wafer or something. I don't know what's going on here, but it's good to have it. It's good to have a variety of different things. I'll figure out some use for it, no question about it. Moving on. And then, like I said, his final hand accessory is an additional right hand that looks like the trigger finger. This one was actually separated from the other sets of hands in the packaging, which makes me think that they wanted to kind of accent that one as the proper trigger finger hand. So let's see. I do have his pistol here. Yeah, there we go. And I double back to the other resting hand. So this looks like it's the proper hand for holding his pistol, and you can see that. Pretty much just a flat black. There is a couple of little ridges and things on there, but not the greatest detail on the pistol. However, his finger is in a trigger groove, which is something that I always highlight, and I do think that that's good and, you know, accurate and looks authentic. Man, it looks like the other hand works just fine, too. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll try to get him with the assault rifle as well when I break out Eggsy, but no issues here. And he's also packed in with this umbrella, although this is not a typical umbrella. In the movie, this was actually utilized as a bit of technology that allowed him to do some offensive and defensive maneuvers. It's actually pretty cool. I did enjoy this portion in the movie where he broke this out a few times. But It does look like a typical umbrella, and because of that, you can obviously use this with other figures, and it's a great prop. Mafex has been putting out some really great props that have value with other figures that they're not really intended for. But yeah, this looks good. You can see little creases and ridges on the material here that makes it look like it's folded around the handle, so that looks great. And they did give you additional options to make it look like the umbrella is open, so I'll show you that. There's a look at just the additional handle without the extension on it, but here is the extension, and you can see on the inside there it says target lock, and let me get this attached. There's that, so that's pretty cool. The handle here is kind of delicate, so you should definitely be careful. You don't want to snap this when you're plugging it in, when you're plugging the handle into the top of the umbrella, but I like it. It's cool. I see some discoloration here at the top, though. I don't know what's going on there. I thought that was just like maybe oil from my hand or something like that. But of course, I washed my hands before this review. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with that there. I don't like the way that looks. So a little imperfection there. Like Eggsy, his feet do come off, so you can see how those pegs look, and then you can peg on an additional set that has the little knives coming out of the front of his shoe. There's that. And like I said with Eggsy, you should be careful as you apply these because they slip on that peg at an angle. It's not really just up and down. It kind of goes in at a sort of curvature, so be careful as you apply those. And his final accessory, aside from a stand, which all Mafex figures come with a stand, is an additional head sculpt here, which has him smirking just a little bit. It's not really much different from the stock or the head that came attached to him out of the package, but you know, it's cool for a little variation, I suppose. The likeness is still there. This looks decent, and I don't really see that little imperfection at the top of the hair here. And real quick, in terms of articulation, the head and neck are separate. They can move separately. You can actually pop the head and neck out from the lower neck. There's a ball peg down there in the upper torso, and there is a ball peg that allows you to pop the head off of the neck as well, but you can turn it left to right, full 360, pivot, all of that good stuff. Shoulders on a ball joint, they're going to come up pretty far. You can do a full 360. In fact, these arms can pop out. I mentioned this before because I do believe that the Bruce Wayne figure that's coming out will allow you to pop off the arms and put a coat on them. So maybe you can swap that coat onto other suited bodies with this same mechanism with other Mafex figures down the line. But yeah, double jointed elbow, swivel and a hinge on the wrist. Nothing really in the upper torso, but you do get articulation at the lower abdomen or at the waist. You can turn them left to right and move them back and forward a bit. There is this sort of drop down method here at the pelvis. I guess you can consider this a T-joint at the pelvis, but the leg can come up just about that far. He gets a decent split. My gripe is that you don't really get a great upper thigh swivel, unfortunately. Double jointed knee, you get a swivel and a hinge and a slight pivot on the foot as well as a toe joint. And bang bang, the duo is complete. Back to back like the cover of Lethal Weapon. They look good, man. I really like the way these guys look together. You can see the variation in size and suit color. Eggsy has a more dark navy blue suit, while Harry has a black suit. And man, I do like the way these guys look. Shout out to Mafex for doing this in succession, 1 month after the other as far as the release of these two guys. I did note that Eggsy came with a little part that may indicate that we're going to get more Kingsman characters. Harry, on the other hand, did not come with anything kind of alluding to that. But again, like I said, these guys look good together. My suited army is forming. You know, originally I wanted to pick up these guys simply because they were suited bodies. But, you know, I'm kind of excited for the possibilities with displays that are within this universe. All right, real quick, left to right, we've got the Marvel Legends Professor X body, which is their typical suited body. First time they released it in this green color. Obviously, there's no head on there, but next up going right is the Mafex Harvey Dent. And then we've got Eggsy and Harry in the middle, and then the S.H.Figuarts Kamen Rider dude. I recently used this guy to kit bash a Tony Stark. I want to kind of work with this body a bit more and do some different things, but a picture should be popping up there. And then on the far right, we have the Figma Lonely Gourmet. So All right, I'm getting up out of here. I don't really see too many people picking up one of these guys without the other, so I would highly recommend that you get the duo. You should be careful, though, because I already saw the wrist peg on my man Simon Hill's Harry break. So, you know, Mafex has had some issues in the past with quality control, and it's something that they're working through and have been much better at. I've said that in just about every Mafex figure review that I've done over the past couple years, that they have been getting much better. Because of that, they've been raising the price a bit too. So Harry came in at about 70 or 80 bucks, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was like 60 something before shipping and taxes and what have you, if you get it directly from Japan. But if you get these domestically, they're going to be almost about $90 per figure. And it's not something I'd recommend that you do if you wanted to get them for the same reason that I wanted them initially, and that was just for the suited bodies. Now, if you're a big Kingsman fan and you might want to do some kit bashing and world building and what have you, then you might go for it. But, you know, it's nothing really to write home about. There's no crazy innovations here or no crazy leaps and bounds as far as accessories or articulation goes. In fact, the articulation is a little lackluster, especially in the upper torso. I wish that they had more ability to crunch in the ab area so you can get them into some more dynamic poses. But they look great together. You know, it is the beginning of what may be a fruitful offering of Kingsman characters, so I'm down with that. And one more thing to note, I was able to mess around with Harry's communion hand here, that left hand. The pointer finger and the thumb can be separated a bit. So again, you have several different uses for all the different hands. The plastic there is pliable, so I slid the front of the pistol into that hand, and I'll probably expand on this display a bit more on Instagram or Facebook or what have you. So thanks for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.
And you can definitely get Harry to hold Eggsy's assault rifle, even though it was Eggsy who broke out the assault rifle in the at the end of the first movie, I believe it was.